All right. Welcome to this exclusive interview of the Locker Room, WRHU Radio Hofstra University. My name is Lewis Grosso, and I am interviewing Ryan Tierney of the Hofstra men's lacrosse team and now the New York Riptide. So first off, congratulations, Ryan, on being drafted to the Riptide, and describe to me your initial reaction to being drafted.
Yeah, so I actually didn't know I got drafted. I woke up to a bunch of texts from the guys in the house, and then I saw it. So it was kind of a really awesome moment, waking up and hearing all that. But besides that, I wasn't really aware of the draft. The draft was that night.
Wow, I didn't even know it came as a surprise to you. That's actually very interesting.
Yeah.
And I want to know, because obviously you've had so much success at Hofstra University, being one of the most dominant athletes that we've had in the past couple of years. And how has playing under your father's coaching in college helped you transform from being a dominant college lacrosse player in the CAA to being able to compete now in the National Lacrosse League?
Yeah. So the relationship between me and my dad, it's definitely an interesting one. I actually quit lacrosse because of him when I was younger, and then came back to it, and now our relationship's even stronger. So he's really pushed me over the edge and made me take that next step to the next level, and I'm very excited. I hope he's proud. You know, it's the one goal is to make him proud.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that is an interesting relationship there, having your father as a coach. I'm sure, like you said, there are plenty of ups and downs as well. Harsh criticism and stuff like that. But obviously, it made you into the player that you are today. And before the Hofstra Pride season was cut short last March, you were leading the team with 35 points, and the team had a winning record of 4-3. Knowing it was your senior year, can you explain to me your emotions at the time when you thought that your final season was called off for good?
Yeah, I mean, it just sucks. You know, I mean that feeling sucks, and you never really know when it was over. You know, we were sitting in a locker room waiting to hear. We had heard news about other conferences canceling out and being done, so we were just waiting for that, waiting for our call, and it is bad because you always want to end your senior year on the most positive note, and we weren't able to do that. So I'm really thankful for the opportunity to get another shot at it.
Yeah, and I know that I'm sure your team is very happy for that as well. And like you said, you're going to be coming. You announced back in early April that you're going to rejoin the Hofstra Pride for the 2020-21 year due to COVID-19 cutting your season short last year. And how happy are you that you'll be able to return and finish your season the way that you want to this upcoming spring?
Yeah, I mean the one goal my whole career was to win a CAA championship, and we like unfortunately we fell short a couple times. So we're looking to finally seal the deal this year and make sure that we're holding up the hardware at the end.
Well, what do you think it takes this year that's different from last year to make that a reality?
Well, I mean, with everyone and the COVID situation, everyone not being able to work out as much as they usually do, I think it's just the self-discipline of the team and making sure the accountability of everyone on the team is getting the work in that they need to in the off season. So we're the other step ahead of everyone else when the season comes.
Yeah, you bring up a good point about, having that time during the offseason. And as we know, not only college players, but professional players as well in every sport took the time during quarantine, a lot of them to better their game and become better athletes in general. Is that something that you worked on during this time, or was it more of a personal time for you during quarantine?
Yeah, I mean, there's never really a day where you don't do anything. You know, you always get a sweat in. You always try to improve your game in a little step at a time. So it was a big off season because I knew we were able to come back. So we had a bunch of kids in the garage working out. We had a little weight room in there, and just focus on the season, trying to get the last go run to make the best one.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you mentioned, you said that the team wants the CAA championship. That's the goal for the team. But are there any other goals for personally for yourself and as an individual, and then the team as a whole for this upcoming season?
Yeah, I mean, the main goal is to win. It's always the main goal. I'm a few goals away from setting the record, which would be cool. But even if it doesn't happen, it doesn't really matter. You know, the team winning is more important. And then I'm like a season worth of points away from setting the points record. So we'll see what happens. But again, those goals aren't really like something in my mind right now. I just want to win. You know, I want to hold up the hardware at the end. I want to celebrate.
Yeah, I think that's a great mindset, and obviously that's a way to look at it for your team and not just for your personal goals. Speaking of your team, which players on the team are you still heavily in contact with right now and still practicing with? Who are some guys that have inspired you to keep pushing yourself, keep going on the team?
Yeah, so I live in an off-campus house with 9 guys, so we're always together. It's like it's Don Pryor, Riley Forte, Michael Altman, and then like Bobby Casey, Joey Alardi, Michael Pico. Like our house is just stacked with guys, and everyone's pushing each other in backyard workouts, trying to get better every single day.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see a bad thing about that. You're all in the same place, pushing yourself to be the best that you can be. I think that that's a great environment, not only for you to personally continue to grow into your professional career now, but your fellow teammates as well, with maybe some of them with the same goals. And now we talked about how you're in the house with them, you're training with them, and obviously you've done a lot of preseason training before. With this whole we were talking about having quarantine, having that time, is there a different mindset, a different type of training for you, or are you going into it with the same type of training, the same mindset, all that, or are you putting yourself in a better position this year by changing it up?
Yeah, so it's tough. I mean, we don't get to use the equipment in the weight room and stuff like that. So you're definitely training differently. Making the best of it, being creative with what we have here. Um, and then mindset wise, we all have the same goal. It's to win at the end and to end our season on a win. However far we go, I just want to keep pushing in the pile until that final whistle blows.
And we did discuss a little bit about having your father as a coach. Are there any specific memories from your college career that you'd like to share? Maybe sometimes that you and your father had some good or bad experiences during your time.
Yeah. So there's obviously the good outweighs the bad, and there's days where they're not so good. Um, but usually we're good at keeping it on the field, and off the field stuff is we don't really talk about lacrosse. We kind of stay father son there, and then coach player on the field. I think LIE last year we got into a screaming match on the sidelines, and I think some bad words were used, and the fans were not happy about it as they were screaming at us as we were screaming at each other. But at the end of the game, we just walked off together, and I think that's my favorite part is that we leave the game where it is. You know what I mean? There's no need to carry it on and off the field. Just leave it on the field and move on.
Yeah, and it is that love and compassion too between you and your coach, obviously being your father. So it's not a personal thing. It's not anything. It's really just to help both of you grow, help the team, get better. So yeah, but that is a very funny story. I'm sure there are plenty more too. That's very cool. But since you put on your Hofstra uniform a couple of years ago, you've been one of the most dominant forces in all of Hofstra athletics. Is it an odd feeling for you to now leave that comfortable environment and enter a new world where you're now the new man on the team?
Yeah, and especially like box lacrosse. Like I don't have enough experience playing box like most of the Canadians that get drafted into the NLL. It's definitely gonna be new. You're the rookie again. You know what I mean? You got all the BS jobs and making sure everyone's got everything for game days. So we'll see. Just gonna keep my head down, not try to stand out as much as I can, and just keep pushing.
And for viewers who don't know, would you mind explaining what the difference is between box lacrosse and regular traditional lacrosse, and maybe the rules?
Yeah, so box lacrosse, it's played indoors. It's played on like an ice hockey rink, but they throw turf over it. There's smaller goals. They're 4x4 rather than 6x6, and it's a 5-on-5 game. So it's instead of 10-on-10, it's 5-on-5. The rules are very slim. In box lacrosse, you kind of get away with as much as you want, and there's more like fighting and contact and like show off goals where you're diving across the crease or you're throwing behind the back passes. It's like a more creative game, and the Canadians, they're really good at it. They play it all day up there, and it's gonna be exciting. It's more of an exciting quick face game than the outdoor game.
Do you think that your style of play is better for box lacrosse or traditional lacrosse? Is this something that you need to continue to work on, or is it something you feel pretty comfortable with at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to work. I've been playing field lacrosse for a while now, and I haven't really played much box. I coached box for a little bit, but nothing crazy over the last 4 years, and it's going to be definitely a little learning curve. And I hope the guys on the team are supportive, and we'll figure it out and push each other as same as we do here.
Yeah, definitely a learning curve, definitely a new experience for you. And looking ahead to your career with the Riptide in the future, what do you feel you want to accomplish the most? Are there certain goals that you're now able to achieve with this new opportunity?
I don't really have much goals for the Riptide. I mean, obviously, I want to win and try to play as best as I can. But as long as the team is pushing each other and supporting each other, that's all I really need. You know, what I mean, it's keeping that brotherhood alive when you leave college. Like most kids don't get the opportunity to go in that locker room and be with all the guys again, and to play games with those guys, especially when ones that like matter a lot. You know, what I mean, there's a big pressure on those games. So I'm excited to have that atmosphere, that competitiveness again.
And how important is that camaraderie and that team, the team relationship when not only you're a big player like you were at Hofstra and you still are, but now as a new guy on the team, how's that make you feel knowing that, there's that type of camaraderie and those guys will have your back no matter what?
Yeah, I mean that's why people play sports. You know what I mean? Like I get it, the whole wins and losses thing, the competitiveness thing, but the sports, like the most memories are from the camaraderie in the locker room and how you mix with the guys on the team. So I hope that that continues and we can make some new friendships and meet some new people along the way.
And being a native of Massapequa, New York, is it comforting for you to know that you were drafted to a team in close proximity to your home and your father's coaching?
Yeah, I mean, my parents can come to the games and stuff like that, but I mean, it's just cool. They're a new team, you know what I mean? It's coming back. My dad actually played for the Saints, which is a Long Island box team back in the like pro Long Island box team back in the day, and it's cool to play in the same spot he played in.
That's awesome. I'm just curious, what position was he?
He played so he boxers not really many positions like D offense, like, and then there's like transition guys, but he was mostly an offensive player. You mean like you have to get stuck on D sometimes, but he mostly played offense.
That's awesome. That's really interesting that you ended up playing in the same sport, same box, lacrosse, everything as your father. And looking back on your life playing lacrosse, who have been the most inspiring people to you that have helped push you and continue to grow not only as a player but as a man, and what continues to drive you to this day?
Yeah, so obviously my dad and my uncle. My uncle coaches out in Denver. But I think like the most important one is my mom. She's always supported me, even when me and my dad weren't getting along the way we should on the field. You know what I mean? I could always go off to her and talk to her about things, and she really kept my head in the game most times. And no matter what happened, if I played bad, she'd always support me. So I think that I'd have to shout her out and make sure she knows that what she did was really important to me.
Yeah, definitely having your family there and the people who support you the most, and like we said, a close proximity to your home where you're going to be playing. I'm sure that's extremely special to you. And now looking into your time with the NLL, what do you feel you have to prove entering now as a new draftee, and what kind of a leader and a player do you want to be in the future with the New York Riptide?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to lead on and off the field. You know what I mean? Especially as new guys come up, I want to help them out as much as I can, and try to make sure the guys know that I'm there for the right reasons, and just hopefully work hard enough to get some playing time, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. Absolutely. And now that we got to talk a lot about your new professional career and you finishing your season at Hofstra, before we go, I thought I'd throw some rapid fire questions at you just to get to know you better personally, and so the viewers can know what kind of a guy you are. So you ready?
Yep, go ahead.
All right. So what's your favorite pregame food?
Pre-game food. So I am a chicken and rice guy. I try to eat as healthy as I can most days. Just chicken and rice for games, maybe banana and an apple. And then I drink a lot of Body Armor, that coconut water that's a sports drink. I think that that really helps.
Yeah, and chicken and rice. Yeah, I do that too for working out. It's a great way to go, obviously. What's your favorite hobby off the field? You spend a lot of time playing lacrosse. What do you do when you just have some time and you're just like, I'm taking time off. I want to go do something I like.
Yeah, so depends on the time of year. Really, summer I take the boat out, take jet skis out. I'm on the water a lot. Winter is I'm a movie guy. I try to watch a bunch of movies, and then I just kind of hang out with the guys, you know, and get as much time in with them as I can, because I know one day that I'm not going to be living in the same house as them, so I don't want to take it for granted right now.
Yep. And finally, last question right here. What advice would you give to an aspiring lacrosse player?
Yeah, so obviously I would say every day put in an hour's worth of work. I mean, it's not hard to put an hour in, and then keep your grades up. The grades are going to make or break you, especially coming up into college now. There's much more competition than when I came in. The grades are huge, and you got to make sure you get it done in school.
Yep, you couldn't have said it any better than that. That's a great mindset to have, and would definitely help younger players trying to be where you are right now. And thank you, Ryan, so much for joining me today. This exclusive interview, the locker room, and good luck. It's awesome. I'm so happy for you, and I'm so happy that you're coming back to Hofstra for your to finish your senior year off the right way, and now your future with the NLL is going to be awesome. So thank you so much for joining me today, and good luck with your future.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great day.
See ya.